Chill.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to VFX and Chill. I am Hashi, and as always with me, I have here Seth Worley and the lovely Michael Zalapsky. Today, we are covering the movie Mickey 17, an exciting
Hashi,
action, sci-fi, dark comedy-looking movie.
we covered that last week.
If you're wondering what... Say again?
We covered that last week.
Wait, we did, but the thing is, we've got a theme here going. We're repeating things because today is our clones episode. Today is a very exciting, kind of honorary episode of VFX and Grill, something that we like to do on the show every now and then.
Something I totally remember to pull the graphics for. Didn't. Sorry.
But you know what? We can add them later.
Figured out.
But before I introduce you two properly, I wanted to say thank you for coming and watching our exciting live stream. If you happen to be watching this on Action Movie Kids or Action Movie Dad, you know me, and I would invite you to come over to our VFX and Chill channel. It's very findable if you search for VFX and Chill, or you type this lovely address here, and we are streaming right there. And if you wanted to switch over right now, we would love you to join in that chat, because it's usually where we have the majority of people hanging out, and it's the chat that I can see on my screen. So selfishly, please come over to this channel. And
can I also add, without asking your permission to say this at all, like if you follow and love Hashi, as we all do, and you want more current, up-to-date content from Hashi, I'm not saying he's not staying current on Action Movie Kid. What I am just saying is that he is staying very current on our VFX and Chill channel, and it's a great place to stay up to date with all of the training stuff that he's doing. He's teaching you how to do all the cool stuff that he knows how to do, and we're also posting a lot of really dumb stuff that he makes or we make or whatever. It's honestly, if you're a fan of Action Movie Kid, there's no reason why you should not be... Hang on, too many negatives. You absolutely need to be subscribed to VFX and Chill, a YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/@VFXandChill.
It's also one of the best ways that you might, at random points, get to find out what the Action Movie Kids are up to, which is always kind of fun. So, Seth, how are you doing today?
Buddy, I'm good. I'm doing real good. How about
Excellent. And Michael, you surviving down there?
So, for those of you who don't know, Seth and I are both getting a lot of rain from the tropical storm, depression, hurricane / whatever Helena has turned into. And I am currently very close to a river and technically have been advised to evacuate and pull our RV out of this particular campground. But because our rain has been steady but slow, the river has been staying inside of its bounds, so we have been defying their suggestions and are staying put. But if my internet goes out because it is raining, reasonably heavily, I apologize.
And that was news to me. This is the first I'm hearing of it. Let's hope and pray that I'm okay. I haven't been looking outside at all until just now when Michael informed me that I'm in danger. Though. Hashi, are you in danger?
I'm jumping over to Action Movie Kids to let them know in the chat to come join us over here.
Yeah, and you know where? Right here, VFX, youtube.com/@VFXandChill. So, I'll kind of give the update while you're doing that. Last week on the show, we talked about clones. We did some really cool stuff based on the Mickey 17 trailer. We showed lots of folks read the books. We showed lots of folks... lots of shots that we loved from the VFX, I'm all over the place. The Mickey 17 trailer, which features several amazing clone shots where we have multiple Robert Pattinsons in one frame, which, obviously is the dream. And we did a couple clone shots live on the show, which you can see in the episode. Michael, I believe, shared that in the chat. But we asked for something from all of you. We have a suggestion box that you can go to get at you can access at maxonvfx.com/chillbox. If you go there, you can suggest things for us to do on the show. You can submit your own work for us to critique and talk about on the show. It's a VFX and Grill submission. Excuse me. And there was a third category added last week, which was the clone submission. We asked for, unfortunately, the submissions are closed now. We're not accepting anymore. But you can still submit your VFX and Grill submissions to here anytime you want, as well as suggestions for things for us to do on the show. But for this week only...
And you can still send in your clone shots. We might talk about them on a future Grill episode.
That's true,
anyway.
if they're awesome. Just if they're awesome, put in the comment, this is awesome, look at it. And I just shouldn't have asked for that. So this week we are going to be looking at many of the clone shots that we received from you guys and making fun of them. Or, praising them, whatever it is, that you talk now, Hash.
See, I pawned off all of the opening ramble to you. Yes, good gravy. Alarm's going off.
Hash is getting a flood warning. We should have had a gag ready to go today where we set up, here's what I would have done. Had we planned this, Michael and I make a whole stink about the fact that we're in a hurricane zone. And then at some point in the show, you get an alert on your phone, Hashi, and then your office just fills with water. Like bottom to top, floods so fast, and then you're just floating in it. And that's how we would have ended the show.
I mean, he does live on an island. So
and also famously, my office has flooded twice, catastrophically.
Guys, anything could happen today. Is what I'm trying to say. So stay tuned for the entire show. Pay close attention to the entire show. Something will happen. What?
I mean,
I think what you were getting to before there is that Seth, you and I decided to try to make some clone shots. We've made some on the show before in our multiplicity episode, and I think some other random time we've probably done it. But we decided to try to make some clone shots. And I failed at this task, but I failed in so many ways. That's why. So I'm excited to share all of my many failures with you. And Seth, you put together some pretty cool stuff. So I'm excited to share those.
I succeeded wildly. So do we want to look at my just wild success first, or your scathing failure?
Let's look at your wild
failure
success.
First. No.
Failure first,
then success.
Fail first. Okay.
All right.
Love it. Let's
failure first. That's what Abraham Lincoln said. Here we go. This is the first of Hashi's many failures this week. I don't know why we're piling this on, because your failures are freaking rad. First off, I don't know how you did this one.
What I was all about.
No, wait.
We didn't update it.
I didn't update it. Hang on a second. Hang on.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh, that was so close. That was so stressful. Whew.
Goodness. You're going to see how much tremendously better this next one is.
Yes. Am I doing which version am I doing?
3, I think.
Okay. Make available offline.
Amazing.
But this is a drop happening live in front of you.
Yeah. Well, as we've learned, whenever I sing something, Hashi, I'm a terrible singer, so nobody understands the melody I'm referencing. And then Hashi will, years later, when editing special editions of the episodes, and I'll just mention that that's what it was. Right. Let's try this again. I don't know how you did this one, Hash.
I wanted to do something that sort of showed off like an interaction that shouldn't be doable between clone actors, and this is what I came up with. Wow, those keyframes that I improvised really fast.
Okay.
Right. So we could pause this. So yeah, here's one.
Can I guess before you explain? Can I guess? Go
for it. It's a classic technique in a way with a new spin.
Okay. First off, the hands
And please, I love having this frame on screen too. It's very nice.
Hey, quick in the chat before Seth says anything, make your guess as how Hashi did this. Quickly.
Yes,
quickly,
make your
chat.
guess. I'll talk slowly.
Type faster.
Here's what I think. I'm noticing the wrists. I have a feeling. So the hands are contacting with the head. So the hands have to be part of the foreground plate. With one caveat. So I think that you've got some hands on your head working their magic, and you're
Digital magic.
You're tracking / puppeting them on with your background sleeves.
Oh,
and,
hey, Seth, real quick before you carry on, the quotes are getting stuck underneath Hashi's thing.
I'll fix that. Hang on. Boop, 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 boop. His head is fake in the green shirt. I had that guess too. But
you know what? That's what I would have done, but I don't have any friends, so ha ha.
See, that's the thing I know. That's why I am that's why I'm getting a little complicated here, because I know you don't have anybody with those hands to do this for you. So I think you're doing this. I think you've got your hands back on your head like I'm doing right now. Like this. And I think you
can do this right now.
Puppeting this like sleeve, this part of your hand onto your sleeve here, keeping your arms as much like they are here, back here, so you can track them on. Ooh. And I want to say, I'm dragging this out so long, but I want to say, I don't have a button for this, so I have to go here. Foreground hands.
No, that looks so good though.
Yeah, I think you...
Hang on. I thought I said failure first. This is not a failure. It looks good.
Yeah, it does look good.
This is the one that I got the closest, I guess.
You're doing a lot of puppeting of your background. I can see your chest expanding in like ridiculous ways.
Yeah, he's been working out though. His chest has expanded.
And I think Wait a second. Okay, I was gonna say
the whole head morphing is weird.
There's a weird head morph. I was gonna say you're rotating your head and putting it onto another version of your foreground chest so you can see your hands in the foreground. But now I'm wondering, those aren't even your hands in the foreground, are they? Are those a child's hands? No,
those are my hands.
Okay, then you've rotated your head on there, or you've got a mask going between your. Okay, the foreground hands are the one I don't know for sure how you did.
I tried to layer this up in a way that it wouldn't be your immediate first guess, and that's all that it sort of. If you only saw this once, that's all you would sort of need for many digital effects. So in a way, it's a good lesson. Another good lesson, and I think that we talked about this yesterday. I don't remember if it was with one of you or not, but one of the things that I love about clone shots is that they feel really, really central to anyone who is on their VFX journey. It's a staple of one of the first things that you will do as soon as you learn how you can mask one video and split screen it with another. I mean, you can do this on your phone for sure nowadays.
Lightsabers and clone shots and fire in your hand are like the three first VFX shots anyone ever tries.
And what's kind of cool is it means that you are granted, a lot of clone shots could be way cooler if you had, a friend with similar proportions, so you could do some kind of body doubling head replacement. But most people are on their VFX journey on their own, watching tutorials, doing cool stuff like that. And so,
oh my God, Hashi, cool. Explain how you did it. Good God. No. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, you can keep being nice. Keep being nice. I just am dying to know how you did the foreground hands.
All right. Let's see. I actually want to see if I actually. I think that I recorded behind the scenes of it. I tried some very complicated thing to do this.
Should I go to your screen for that?
Sure, go for it. I am just searching here to see if these videos saved. And they did. Okay. Hopefully, these will kind of explain it. All right. So, here was my setup. you can sort of see, I didn't realize how poorly the second camera was just blocking all information here. But so here's the take. So it's probably toward the end of this somewhere, is me sitting here and I go like this. I tried figuring out some good position for my hands to start way back here above my head, and then I just, dive in, give myself a little thing. I was going to do that, which is stolen from you, Seth, the taking your glasses and whatever. And then I realized that clone me wasn't going to be able to see the monitor without glasses, and so I abandoned that section of it. So we have plate one.
You could have done it
here.
with by bringing them down. Oh no, you couldn't. Never mind, because you can't lose the. Never mind. Keep going.
No. So here was this. I think one of the drawbacks here was that the camera is sort of even with my eyes right here, and so it forces the angle of the wrist contact to be a distinct shape. So anyway, what I ended up with after all this was let me show you how I filmed the second take. That is right here. And so here's what I did. I was very, very proud of this. So I slid the green screen out of the way here in my room and just had to kind of look for where I was supposed to be roughly, figure out where to start, and then I walk in and do this little fake massage action. But the way that I tried to get a good, motion between the two, and I pointed this out to Seth and Michael earlier. This is Hashi up way too late, and this is Hashi thinking this is going to be a great idea like hours earlier.
So good.
But so over here on this in this little split thing that I have recorded, I opened up Split Cam, which is a way that you can watch multiple webcams in one. So I recorded this with it, but also I was able to record through OBS while playing two videos on top of each other right here.
Smart.
So I quickly roto-brushed the hands, and actually I left them there like a ghost, sort of, at the end of the video right here, so I could see where I need to start my hands when I walk in. So here's the take. I think I walk in, and I'm looking at this monitor, and I try to go match my hands up close to there to begin with, and now I move them down and into place.
Lord.
Nice.
And so the weird thing that I had to do now was I actually played this back at half speed. So I'm performing in half speed, but I tried to line up my arms to be going roughly up and down at almost the same time.
Yeah, so you had a lot. It was going to be a lot easier to convincingly puppet to it. One thing I wanted.
And remarkably, this comp almost looks better than what I did.
So transitioning the hands,
made my whole body too big.
I'm curious about transitioning the hands. Was it a cut, a fade, or what?
It's a
what?
It's a Texas switch with one hand, which rendered out as the Predator hand accidentally. But this hand goes up behind the head there, and it then comes out as this hand, just puppeted to it.
That's smart.
And this hand, there's a moment where my fingers are down, and then they open up to show my palm, and I use that as just a linear wipe from one hand to the other in the others.
Smart, because my thing would have been to try and just make my hands as busy as possible so I can get away with a cut. Like if I did like a stretching my fingers or wiggling my fingers kind of a deal before going down into the head. Like I feel like you could get away with a more chaotic cut between the two hands with that.
Something like that would be a very good idea. The biggest drawbacks that I really was sad about in the end was I needed to roto myself from the whole thing because I was doing so much liquefying by the end. But here are sort of all my layers. I have a background plate, this Hashi, then the left and right hands, and then the head.
I knew it.
Those were weird because I had to try to guess where things were. Oh yeah. So here's the reveal of how this worked.
I wondered if you were
So I
rotating
have
the
this
head
performance
or if it was
here.
someone else's head. Okay, cool.
And then
That alone is
to fill in the
hilarious.
body, I have this. And what I did for a lot of these is I would go into the layer itself like this. And let me see if I can get it to show the mesh. Here we go. I would try to create a puppet tool with a wide expansion on it. So I could have one control point for example, where I could take, why isn't it? I forgot that I've expression linked this to something else.
No, I get where you're going with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here it is. Here's my null that I can take
Nice.
and just line up the chin basically, and just do a little bit of back and forth puppeting. The only thing that was a little bit weird was that I did this look up, and I had to try to kind of warp and do some stuff there that I forgot to account for.
This,
So there we go.
What's fun is before you put the chest back in, it was just you holding a head. It reminds me I think some of my favorite visual effects shots, if you cut them in half, if you basically started layering them up or doing the effect and stopped halfway through, you would already be at a very fun visual effects shot. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, if you get halfway done, is an Invisible Man movie. That's incredibly cool. Or, you know what I mean? So I love that this is just you massaging a floating head.
Like you do.
Like you do.
Very, very silly.
So
there was my one, that's my most successful. And we've talked about it for so long. My goodness. I'm so sorry.
Well, here. We'll go to here's we'll look at my shot, one of my shots that I did. So man, I hate that you set this up as failure and then I jokingly set mine up as wild success because mine is so basic compared to what you just showed us. You just showed us the coolest, most complex thing.
But it's satisfying.
Yeah, totally. So here's mine.
Hang on. Now,
okay.
Everyone watch this, and then I was just say, watch this, and then in the chat, place your guesses for how Seth did this.
All right, and I'll pause it before it goes to the breakdown. So it's me playing basketball with me. I think it's pretty
Seth
glaring.
is good at sports, everyone. Look at him sporting. Look, he's making every basket.
Buckets, man. I feel like it's pretty obvious how I did this, but I'll let people guess. I'll give them some time.
Play it again. Play it again. Let him look.
All right.
Swish.
It'd be funny if everyone was like,
Pass
what I don't
back.
understand is how he's banking all these shots.
It's because I'm looking for signs of time warping, which is what I have in spades. Look at that. Digital zoom, they got you figured out.
Digital zoom. Oh my God, they figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the camera move is digital, yes.
All right, someone said helper. Listen, I did have a helper on this one. Very rare for a VFX and chill shot. Usually it's Hashi by himself, me by myself, with the exception of our Germany show, which has some of our most exciting effects that we've ever done. We were all three together. Correct, Luke and Dad. The window pane provides a natural mask option, 100%. So it's very basic what's going on here. And here is a little breakdown of it. So I shot 2 passes. That's my son. He requested not to be seen in the video, so I've covered his face. He's more handsome than that. So we basically were like, let's do 3 shots. We'll shoot, shots, I mean basketball, shots. We'll bank it 3 times and then pass it to me. So this side, of course, he's the one shooting. So he banks it 3 times. And we don't have if I were really doing this the right way, I would have maybe had a metronome or something that we were or some
I was
previous
about to ask
recording
if you had a metronome.
that we were matching to, but no, this one was just raw dog.
Oh, Brian the White mentions that this has very ending of Napoleon Dynamite vibes.
That is correct,
which,
Brian.
You did not play the audio, but this is accompanied by When in Rome's The Promise.
Well, I mean,
when Seth sent this to us.
It'll probably get us canceled. But I will go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to think of the right thing to say.
This is literally music I had in it because it reminded me of that too. And lyrically, it actually is amazing. For this moment. So, shot sides with my son shooting and me being the rebound guy. And then the sides of me shooting and my son being the rebound guy. And then, of course, stitch them together. But then the trick with making sure that they matched up is putting time warp on both of them and setting the adjust time by to source frame and basically putting just like you would time remapping, but this way you're getting this really great frame interpolation the time warp provides, and putting a keyframe at the beginning of the sequence, making sure that you set your sequence to frames instead of time code, and having it start at frame 0 makes this easier. So then you pre-comp both sides so that you're getting time warp doesn't get all freaked out. You put time warp on that, and you put a keyframe for 0 at the beginning of the timeline, and a keyframe for however long your frames are, however many frames your sequence is. You do a keyframe at the very end, the last frame, with that last frame as number in the source frame, and then you go. I went through and I put keyframes for every time the basketball passed behind the window pane. So, like, that's where I knew my transition point. That's where I knew the timing needed to line up to. And so I put on both sides a keyframe on each one of those frames where that happened. And then I just slid the keyframe until the keyframes are in until they all kind of matched up. Now I had to, you'll see a lot of other keyframes here. It's because you notice it if like the entire side is time warped, like moving too slow or too fast with like passes, like if the ball leaves one frame at one speed and enters the other frame at a different speed. I'm being confusing by saying frames here, but you know what I'm saying, the window frames. Those speeds have got to line up. So I started putting keyframes wherever a pass was going to start, or whenever a ball was caught, moments like that, and then I would adjust things to where all that time remapping was happening in between those moments, or I'm like standing around, or things that get away with it. And that is how I did that shot.
So to summarize, so with time warp, it's just a key to the left, and then you key to the right. And I'm done. Never mind.
I was lost completely. I'm sorry.
That was too much of a stretch.
No, I was too inflexible to understand it. One of the I do want to show. Well, let's take a real quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
If you're just joining us, we are doing some clone stuff. I just Hashi walked through his shot where he was massaging his own head, which you can see right here. Pretty amazing. Just go back and see how he did that. And I was walking through the shot with the window. What does source frame do again? I saw someone ask that question. I think it was
Luke and Dad Productions.
Source frame, that is a setting in time warp where instead of... so basically, if you adjust it by speed, which is its default setting, you get this control that you get you get to control its speed. So you could basically are keyframing 50% speed, 100% speed, etc. If you set it to source frame, then you are keyframing just like you would time remapping, where the keyframe value represents what frame it's showing at the time. And so you can use that by setting a bunch of keyframes throughout, like on the frames that they're supposed to, where the frames are supposed to fall. And then you start moving those around and you start getting like ramp ups and ramp downs. It's a great way to be able to control exactly what's happening when in the timeline. Now,
it's a very cool effect.
We're going to get to, real quick, I want to throw this out here. We are going to get to, I have one more result to show and you have one more result to show. So actually, Hashi, I want to go to yours next. Can we talk about your other test?
Oh yeah, you can come on over here.
So, what the hell? How is this a failure? Oh, never mind. I see. It's just unfinished. It's not a failure.
This is one that I had high hopes for how I would accomplish, and it's a very similar, like overly engineered situation. If you want to come on over to my screen, I can actually show a little breakdown of this. Here's me playing little guitar thing, and
I didn't know you played a little guitar thing.
I was luckily able to do the same trick where I filmed this person holding the guitar first, and then the person doing the with the guitar neck on this side. And I had some. Let's see if I don't remember if I have them. Yeah, here are the two kind of lined up over top of each other. So let's see. So I had guitar guy A, who picks up a little guitar, plays a song like that, blah, 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 blah. And then I filmed this, which I thought was going to be really clever, that I had this little keyable stick that was roughly at the right angle for how I was holding the neck, so it wouldn't be that much of a stretch to see where I was. And I was even able to play this to a monitor so I could sort of reference it if I were able to look down. But I can't multitask in that way. Oh, you'll also notice that I hand the guitar to myself there at the end, which is something that I did not finish in the other one. But in this ghost version, it looks kind of cool. But anyway.
Just two ghosts having a good time.
Two ghosts having a good time playing guitar.
Hi, Tom. Welcome. Keep watching. Never stop.
Welcome. So to get this to work, I needed to obviously roto both characters. And then I came up with the most convoluted thing you've ever heard of, which is I rotoed the forearm, basically, and the shoulder, and then had a couple of different attempts with this thing. I set up this first, where, okay, so imagine this. You've rotoed two parts of an arm. You've inverted their anchor points to line up with some abstract nulls that you've placed roughly where they originally are, and then parent those pieces of footage to themselves. And what you can end up with is this way to have footage. So these are all elements of footage, but they are actually linked to each other.
So Monty Python, it's hilarious.
So it's ridiculous because like the video of what my hand is doing will play. So at any point I can grab the shoulder or the elbow and tweak them slightly.
That's great.
So this was my first attempt. And then because I didn't have a proper like IK chain, because again, this is footage, which means that you have to animate the anchor points to end up wherever the original objects did. So I didn't really have a good locator for the hand to set up a proper backwards IK chain. So then I decided I'll just throw just the arm itself into one thing where it's somewhat stabilized and moving in an inverted way to the way it is in the final, which means that I can now have, instead of two control points, I can just have this one null that can move my arm just a little bit within the space.
This is such a fun rig. I'm looking at this and I'm having so much fun just imagining setting this rig up and playing with it. You just needed time. That's all you needed. It was a little more time just to finesse this shot because you my God, this is so fun.
So I want to do more with this crazy inverted way to segment a part. Yeah. It's so creepy and weird. But yeah, this came together and was kind of fun. I do have another special treat, which is I did find from still interlaced gang.
How do you look older there than you do now?
I don't know how these things work. Here I am with the butt part and all.
Oh my God. Sorry, still a
this
freaking
is
stub.
This is the very first clone shot I ever attempted. Just me again. I had nothing to do. Amazing. That is from 1996.
Now, if we could go back and
there
show,
are probably people here who weren't alive.
Oh, I don't want to think about that. Could we go back? I'll go back in time and show that Hashi. How would he feel watching this episode and realizing you still don't have anyone to stand in for you on your clone shots?
It would empower me by knowing what a singular journey it is. Right? Yeah, it's always fun to rebrand the solitary experience of generalist VFX artist.
It's so funny you showed old stuff because my next one is actually not a new shot. It is an old short, a very old short that I made back in, I want to say 2000. It was right before I got married, so it was 2006. I shot a short film with my friends, and this was actually, I'm just now remembering this. Do you remember a show called On the Lot?
On the Lot.
Executive producer Steven Spielberg and Mark Burnett. This was a I think one season reality show called On the Lot that we actually know a couple people that were on. And you and I know someone who was on it. What? I can't remember who it was. But it was you got to go and be like they asked for filmmaker submissions, and it was like Project Runway, but with filmmaking, but with short films. And Steven Spielberg was was an executive producer. He showed up here and there. Brett Ratner famously was one of the judges each week. Yeah. I did not get on the lot, but this short was my submission to it. And the whole concept of this short was that a guy is he's being a guy. He's just, what is he doing? He's house sitting when a kid from the future who owns this house in the future falls out of the closet, having turned his closet into a time machine. The guy chases the kid back into the closet and ends up going back a minute into the past. And this keeps happening, so he keeps getting duplicated. So here, let's see. We'll get to the... So this kid falls out of the closet back there, played by my sibling Bex. And...
Great caricature work right here, though. My God.
Chases it back in, falls out, realizes they are a minute into the past, jumps out of the way, there's his other self. Now, I want to point out...
That was pretty slick.
Yeah, I'm very proud of how we did this.
Camera.
There is one VFX shot in here, and it's this. This is the only shot that we did in post, just with like a very basic mask in Final Cut Pro on the shoulder here. Everything else was with whip pans and wipes, like in-camera wipes and doubles. A double who did not have the same body type, looked nothing like him. Let me see if I can get to... So like this keeps happening over and over. And it makes sense right up until the end when we just kind of run out of things to do. So here we have shots where there's a double in frame. If you can't tell, Back to the Future Part 2 was a very influential movie on me.
See, but the handheld and like the casualness of all of these shots.
This was my Alfonso Cuarón
are
period.
shot just like you would shoot them if you did have identical twins,
or
whatever. And so you don't. Yeah,
100%. That's my whole thing I preach all the time is if you're new to visual effects, if you're a director trying to figure out how to shoot a visual effects shot, I have directors come to me all the time asking, like director friends asking for advice on shooting various visual effects that they're scared of. And the first thing I say is resist the urge to do anything. Don't make any decisions based on safety that will sacrifice like any fundamental visual style you have across the rest of the film. So if you are shooting your movie handheld, shoot that VFX plate handheld. Do not lock it down because you think you need to. Don't overlight it because you think you need to. Don't set up a green screen because you think you need to. Like ideally work with someone who knows what they're doing and find the right compromise. But the thing that helps this look so much is because you're right, it's so handheld. This is my era where I was obsessed with Children of Men and how Children of Men was shot. So believe it or not, this short is inspired by Children of Men and Eternal Sunshine. Coming up as my favorite shot in the movie, or just like it embodies like the energy.
Speaking of great shots, Luke and Dad Production says this looks amazing. They need to know where they can see this.
Well, stand by. I'll tell you right now, right after this shot. So hits him with the thing, and then right here is my favorite shot. He looks up. Boom, there he is in foreground. It's just so fun and dynamic. Anyway.
Ooh, slick.
So this is unlisted, but I'm going to give Michael the link right now and allow him to share it in the chat for anyone who wants to see it.
This is an exclusive, a VFX and Chill exclusive. This isn't...
or should we just put it on our channel?
Ooh, that's a good point.
I think
let's do that.
Let's
do that if you're cool.
Do that.
All right, we're going to put it on the channel. Pay attention this week. Subscribe if you want to see this. Subscribe to our channel. This will we'll
VFX
put the time
and Chill
closer on there.
YouTube channel, not the Action VFX, not the Action Movie Dad or Kids channel, not the Red Giant channel, not the Maxon Training Team channel, not the Maxon channel, not any of these other channels that we're also streaming on live, but youtube.com/VFX and Chill, which is over. Oop, no, wrong direction. Over there.
Yeah,
VFX,
over
youtube.com @VFX and Chill. That's where this short's going to be.
Absolutely. And yes, Sonny points out there was a web series that we made based on this short. This is the original short. You can see the trailer for that that web series somewhere if you Google. But anyway,
incredible.
We should.
You know what I got a hankering for, Seth?
Yeah,
I got a hankering for some user submitted videos.
I do too. I tell you what, it's a little early, but why don't we take a quick break? We'll come back and we'll watch some user videos. How's that sound?
Woo!
Let's do it. Welcome back to VFX and Chill. If you're just joining us, we're talking about clones. We got Hashi, we got Seth, we got Michael. All right, it's that time. We need to watch these user-submitted clones. You guys sent in your clones. We have them to watch, and we're going to watch them in alphabetical order. Now, I do want to point out we needed them by Thursday, and Alonzo, you are in the chat. You submitted yours, and but it was a WeTransfer link, and it expired by the deadline. So unfortunately, we do not have yours included. But because you got yours in by the deadline, we know we got yours in. It's just expired. We're willing to cut a break. I'll try to get it in this episode. It involves some weird production stuff to put in to make it work. I may not be able to do this episode, but I promise the top of next week's episode, We'll watch yours. So now we've made a big stink of it, so it better be great. Hey, I think I know who that is. Is that Sophia?
Yeah, I'm back from school.
Hello, Sophia.
It's good to see you, pal.
I'm back from school. It was a bit scary walking home because it's really raining outside.
It's raining there too? It's raining everywhere, all over the world.
Yeah, like it's like just a downpour outside.
Us
You
too.
rock.
It's raining on you. It's raining on
Way to
Seth. It's
go.
raining on
Way to
me.
make it bad.
Everyone in the chat, can you give us a quick weather update on what's doing for you? Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Are you seeing cats and dogs playing together? What's going on for you in the chat?
Living together. Also, everyone remember, pay attention to our windows. Something will happen by the end of this episode. And it could involve rain or it could not. You have to pay attention. Sophia, we're about to watch some user submissions. People sent in their clone videos. I actually have one. You want to stick around and watch one and tell us what you think? I have one specifically we received. I said it was going to go in alphabetical order, but I'm going to jump ahead. We got one from somebody named Jamie. Let's see what this one is.
Hello, VFX and Show Crew. I am happy to be submitting this piece of footage. What as you see here, I did the clone effect. Magic. Say hi. Hi. So yeah, I just wanted to share that I got this effect done. Did it all on my own. Kind of just watched one tutorial online, I guess. But yeah, no help from anyone else. Pretty much just me. And yeah, just want to send it my effect. See ya.
All right. Two things. How
Oh my gosh,
wonderful
Jamie.
to see this right after seeing your childhood clone video. It warms my heart to see them back to
It
back.
makes me so happy. Oh my goodness. I didn't get to see this.
This is Hashi's child, Jamie. We love Jamie. Jamie makes frequent appearances on in the chat, and maybe is here, maybe not.
Still not out of school yet, so
Okay.
we'll have to give a shout out a little later too. That is awesome.
That's awesome.
All
Way to
right,
go,
we're
Jamie.
making
Great
note.
work. I also really like that blue jacket, by the way. So let me know where you got it at some point.
That blue jacket goes everywhere with Jamie. It's amazing.
It's a killer jacket. I really like it. All right.
On a hot summer day, and they were like, "I'm cold."
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Next
Amazing.
up, we have any other thoughts on Jamie's submission? Anybody?
I love it. Good interaction. There was some interaction and a reaction line from the other one, so the timing was good and everything. I know that this was put together on a phone, so
That was my next
I'm
question. Was
impressed
how
by
was it
this.
put together? So iMovie or something, or CapCut or what?
I believe that it was put together in Adobe Rush, which is
Ooh,
incredible.
that is incredible. Oh, if we're given notes, the only note I would give is I believe if it's a phone, if it's an iPhone, Final Cut camera. So if Jamie, if you're watching and if you care, I mean, you know this stuff, you know more than I do, but notice how the wall is brighter here and darker here, and a lot of that has to do with the auto exposure that's happening on the phone. And so the first thing I would suggest is there's an app called Final Cut Camera, and I think it's free. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Apple's like high-end camera like solution for being able to instead of using auto exposure, you can
You can do it. You can set the exposure in the native camera app. You don't even have to get a separate app.
You can, but it does also keep. It'll turn off randomly at times.
Yeah.
So Final Cut Camera is great because it's all your manual settings. So you can set the exposure and it'll stay for both versions that you end up shooting, which is really helpful. That's the first suggestion. The other one is I don't know if Adobe Rush has it, but you see this stark line. Your biggest friend is going to be figuring out how Adobe Rush does mask feathering or does edge feathering or edge blur. If you've got that, you wouldn't have to worry about the auto exposure stuff because that nice blur would change how that line looks. But Other than that,
True. Jason Murphy mentioned in the comments, and I actually kind of thought this too. This morning,
Same.
Jamie did say,
Yeah.
I'm submitting a thing. I couldn't fix there was an issue with the brightness on one side, but I got to turn it in now. And so yeah, Jason Murphy mentioned it looks like a corner in the wall, similar to the one that's behind Blue Coat,
oh, it
Jamie,
does.
in a way. So it looks almost like another exposure step, or a shadowing step down.
We do have several rooms.
Ooh, Jamie, that's actually reminds me of a really good solution. Also, in future shoots, if you had just panned left and put No Jacket Jamie on screen left, but over the door entirely, and then Blue Jacket Jamie against the wall, you could put that harsh line right down somewhere in here involving around the door frame, and people would notice it even less. Just to look for lines in your plate that you can use to your advantage, just like I did the window pane in my shot.
Man, though, yeah, another Brian the White also mentioning it does just look like
A corner.
a corner.
Yeah, it totally does look like a corner of the wall.
It plays.
It plays. Way
Love
to go. Okay.
Thank you, Jamie.
Up next, we have Michael. I can't see their name. If you can make the comment go away just temporarily, possibly. We have, this is from Ben. Ben is the name that we have for this.
Not my Ben. This is
Not my Ben. Michael has problems with this. Ben is not part of Michael's canon. It's CANON. Don't think about it. We've got notes on this one.
Like time codes 216 and 308 are the notable moments.
Trying to pull up the 216. Boopity 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 boop.
Ooh.
Okay. I like the lighting.
Indeed.
Did Ben say anything about what this is? Is it a music video? Is it a short?
So Ben mentioned not really impressive, but some content for the show, I guess. Yeah,
Well,
but you don't got to
Ben,
yourself like
you
that.
don't know what's impressive and what's not. You shut up.
Oh, look at that.
Floating. That's pretty cool. That's nice.
That was a neat little camera move because you got the little table leg in the foreground turning and stuff. So was that the clone shot or was that doubles?
That's a good question. It could be doubles. That's a good looking shot.
Look at these. The vibe's off the charts. I love the color.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
I
killer.
look at that.
That reminds me of I Am Legend.
Well done.
So yeah, that shot's great. I mean, how do we think?
Yeah.
How do we think Ben
Why don't we
did
freeze
this?
frame right here? Goodness.
So my thing with like floating shots, I'm always a big fan of stitching the top half. We've done it on the show. You've done it incredibly on that one test you did, where you stitched. Well, in that case, you took your top half, you rolled around on roller skates, you painted out your bottom half, and you replaced it with the Mixamo digital legs. But I'm also a big fan of shooting like a top half part of the plate and then like hanging off something and getting a dangling bottom half and stitching them together. I don't know if that's what's happening here or if this is maybe even a still, like they jumped and did a still and then just puppeted some motion out of it.
Oh, that's a good guess. Because the lighting is very good. Like it's all like the lighting matches that it's the top down on both of them. So it doesn't look as much like footage that you shot one way and then had to turn sideways.
Yeah.
I mean, between the color grading and like don't know if it's just the playback or if there's some good haze in here. It feels like there is.
Really good. Sonny was saying you think he's on a stool. I could buy that he's on a stool. So on a stool for the bottom and then the top was shot the same way but then flipped.
You could also maybe be lying on your side, but the attention to lighting would be really important. And
no, you've got
it's-
backlight
it's-
happening, at least on his face right here. That would be hard from lying on the ground.
a good point.
Yeah, look, you
It's a
stumped
great
us,
shot.
Ben. It's a great shot.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Up next, please welcome Brian the White to the show. You got the notes
Brian.
up. What does Brian the White say about this shot, besides that it rules?
Brian did not add comments to this shot because it just speaks for itself.
So, are we sure? I thought, oh, you know what? It was in the YouTube link that it said what it was. This is I believe this, hey, Brian the White, you're here. Tell us what this is. This is a blend of the Ramones and, not Mark Romanek. That's the director. Who am I thinking of? Who's the other artist you combined with? Roy Orbison. It's the Roy Mones. That's what this is. Brian, I don't know what this was for, but here's what my first thought was. Okay, really great set design. Like, first off, this is a really great looking backdrop, which made me think you made this for something else and not for VFX and chill, because the production value here is pretty high. That said, I was like, maybe that's a plate. Maybe that's a stock background. And
It took forever, says Brian.
Okay.
Roy Orbison, just something fun and dumb.
it can't be a stock background because you've got all these great angles on it, and I'm seeing shadows on the walls and stuff, so it looks pretty great. So that's clearly there on the set. So I'm wondering if it's your office. Nice, Brian. So I'm wondering if this took forever because of the shadows. Is that why? You couldn't just do a straight split screen because you got all these shadows in the background that are overlapping at times. We really should have had them, on to talk about this. But Hashi, you got any thoughts on this one? The shadows are the thing that I'm noticing that I think.
I'm noticing
but-
some universe stretch transitions.
Yes, you're always going to turn
hey, they
Michael
work
on
well
by
with
using
a-
some
with
universe
a-
transitions.
Guitar slide. So we've got a guitar theme going already today.
Had to do each camera setup with
So
three
this is
different
fun.
costumes.
It's
Yeah.
great. With the costumes, I would not have even noticed, to
That
be
it
honest.
was different people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my only critique here is like you costumed up a little too much. Like, I'm not impressed by the cloning or the work because I don't notice it. You made an invisible VFX here, Brian.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's too
that's
good.
Like I would have, if it weren't for the shadows, I would just be like, oh, it's just maybe he green screened different people into the set, but the shadows are too good, and then you're like, wait, no, it's just very good costume.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Brian.
I love
Way
it.
to go,
Super
Brian.
fun.
Next up, we have Chris. I love this one. So Chris had a note on this one. What do you say?
Let's see. I just see, no audio. Wait. I feel like I'm not seeing the whole list of info for some reason.
Oh, let me see.
Let me double check.
Oh yeah, just circa 2008, no audio. So
Circa 2008 explains the camera, like something about it feels vintage, and you can't put your finger on it, but that makes so much sense. That's so great. Oh, and look at all this interaction. There's a lot of
that's
interaction
what I was
happening.
about to get at. Is like, okay, I'm trying to think shooting order of this and how this was done. So
The reflections on the table are
I'm gonna
really
pay
the tricky
better
part.
attention this time. Let's see. Okay, so we've
pour
got
orange juice.
So far, no problem. Easy split screen. And
good.
he pours
good.
it.
Though
watch what
two people
happens.
sitting on a couch, it is really important. The couch squish is
Yes.
something that gives you away
Yeah.
really easily.
Yeah.
If you go back and if you look for my YouTube search Writing 201 Seth Worley, there's a couple spots where we do some clone effects in that. Don't look at the couch. I did not try at all. It's just straight up feather mess.
But look, watch. So the water's moving. The orange juice is moving,
Boom!
and then
There.
it has
stopped
to come
moving.
still.
Like,
Yeah.
It
has to come
barely
still right before he does.
settles.
Right there.
It's
It
timed
could be a
out
fade
perfectly.
from like there to the.
Can I tell you? It's better
This is-
than Back to the Future Part 2. The glass handoff in Part 2 is much messier than this is.
Yeah. This is
Amazing.
neat.
You hear that, Chris? Better than you can put that as a quote on the
Better than
than
the
Zemeckis.
short.
You did it better than ILM and Zemeckis, man. Didn't even have a Dijksterflex.
Okay, so then
Here's the part that gets me is that so that has all happened in the same spot on the table, but then this happens
Sets
in the
a
same
coin?
spot on the table.
he pays. See,
Well,
this isn't
first
a
off, the
friend
other guy
relationship, this is
accepts
a
payment.
transaction.
What was that?
Yes, yeah, because like you'd think it was just like friends enjoying juice, but it's actually a transaction.
It actually is a transaction, and it's a transaction built on trust. It's like have a taste, and then if you like it, then you can pay for it. Sets down. Okay, I saw it that time. It's just off from where he actually sets it. Yeah.
Okay, so when he sets down the glass the first time around, is it past that point? So our patch could.
Yeah,
can't remember
the
where the
glass,
contact
the
is.
glass
Yes.
is just to the right, screen right.
So it's
Right
not. It
there.
doesn't slide across the table. It's just past.
Yeah,
Okay.
you look right over there. You can kind of see where the coins are currently sitting on the table. Like they have to be, as Jason points out.
Yeah, they're patched out at the top.
Yeah.
Now I didn't
And like
notice.
maybe there's like a piece of tape or something like that to like.
There's probably it's
Find
probably
where to
wood
set the
grain.
bed.
I would say it's wood grain. The
Oh, is it?
and it's
So
off.
great.
It doesn't happen accurately. I noticed that the second time was that it comes up just to the left of where where Chris's hand is going. Whoop. See?
It's great. The fun
Still
thing
right.
about these kinds of things with multiple interactions is, again, like it's a weird exercise in
What you do when?
choreography.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's so fun about it is that you're not just fixing all of it in post. You're having to plan. It's choreography. You're having to plan it out. Every department has work to do. In this case, it's set design. In this case, I mean, this is obviously just Chris filming himself, but in this case, that just means he's doing representing all these departments and doing all this work. It's set design. It's blocking. It's choreography. It's everything. So Chris also. What Hashi? Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, if you weren't able to submit this week, or you are a new VFX artist or something like that, do a clone shot. What's fun about them is that they seem boring in their nature, but they can inspire a lot of inventiveness, and also just the discipline of trying to perform an interaction with another person is interesting because you learn a lot about yourself in the process.
Yes, you do. Chris actually submitted a second one, and this one I have not been able to try and figure out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a
Okay,
theory about this one.
Again, this is one where the different wardrobe.
Oh, it
and
hurts
and
it. It's like I don't
distance
know.
of the
It's
shot might make me not question this.
You're right. Yeah, it's like, Chris, you should have just worn the same outfit twice to make it even more impressive. But I will say,
Look more into the.
There's one thing I noticed.
what'd you notice, Soph?
Yes.
When they throw the ball and the guy doesn't catch, it bounces way closer to the screen than it should because it looks a lot bigger, but it looks like he's throwing further away, but it gets bigger as it goes, so
How does it?
kind of weird. Yeah, like look at the ball.
Like right there. Soph, what I think that might
It feels
actually
a bit
be.
closer than when he throws it, and he's throwing to someone who's a bit further back.
I see what you're talking about. You know what I think that is, Soph? You know how, have you ever, on your phone or iPad or something, have you ever noticed that if you set it to the widest version, like, I'm trying to think of how to explain this, like wide angle lenses, that like certain lenses are made to get a wider amount of things in frame. And by doing that, they make things feel really small when they're just even barely not that far away from the camera. But when they get close to the camera, they get suddenly way bigger. And that happens with wider angle lenses. And I think that's why he's so small in frame here. I don't think that what he's filming with is that far away from them. I think it's still pretty close, but it's a wider angle lens, so it makes them look really far away and small. And because of that, if anything gets closer to the camera, it gets like even bigger than you would normally see it getting with another lens. So that might be what you're seeing. Although I might have just mansplained that to you,
Okay.
and you're totally right. And I'm
No,
wrong.
play this again.
It looks like he's throwing it like back, not towards the camera. See, he's kind of like the guy in the red looks like he's a bit behind.
Now is Chris in the chat here? Are you watching? Because I have questions.
Chris,
I want to know if
you things to answer.
I want to know.
You know what? I'm feeling it too. So if I gave you all that explanation, but now I'm feeling it too. It feels like it's at a different plane than he is. Just slightly.
The only thing that I
slightly.
noticed is that the last toss, the one that's missed, feels a little too fast.
Yes.
It accelerates quickly and then slows down into the curve to land down at the right place, I think. So yeah, often if you were doing something like this, you would film it with a stand-in, similar to your basketball one, Seth, where you do pass something back and forth, but the whole ball in the air section will be a digital, little parabola.
I have a test I did this week that actually is an example of what I think is going on here. But keep talking.
There. So what would happen is you would take your footage, you would film this with a friend, doing the same, switching who was doing which action on either side. Then you take the two plates, do a fairly traditional stitch with them, but you sort of erase the ball from most of it, and then find some good frames of the ball in the air and use them as a little sprite that you send on these parabolic journeys back and forth between the contact points.
Yes. So I tried this test early in the week. There's several problems with it. One is that I never let the ball leave. I don't have a partner to throw to in this, so the ball stays in my hand on each side. And this was meant to be a test. I didn't have a solution for it, except to eventually shoot it with a double to help me. And I was going to do like what I do here, which is just have a fake animated ball every time it's in the air. This also.
So if we compare this to Forrest Gump, this is rated as not better than Zemeckis.
This is not better than Zemeckis. And this is you're right. This is a combo of Zemeckis concepts because it's clones handing each other things, and it's also the digital ball, like the ping pong ball from Forrest Gump. I would say the I'm laughing at mansplaining that perfectly. The thing about this was, unlike Forrest Gump, is that Forrest Gump, they had a metronome that they were hitting the ball to. They had a recording so they could actually be on beat. I did not. I didn't plan this. I did it with my internal metronome, and turned out, I think Seth on the left went faster than Seth on the right. So this is where I first tried the time warp, time remapping thing that I had to do with the basketball shot. But yeah, so...
Oh, I can see it with the swinging arm, actually. I didn't notice it at all until you mentioned, but yeah, it does that lovely time warped hand. Okay, well, great submissions, Chris. Those are
for real
fun.
Chris, I'm bummed you weren't here to talk about them because those were awesome. All right, I'm going to butcher some names going forward. Just get ready. Get ready to be deeply offended. Is this Ido? IDO?
IDO.
Lidux smartass comment is blocking. I love proving children wrong. It's true, but so I watched this one a bunch of times, and I think I get what's happening, but I think it's great.
So we actually do know how this one was made.
Oh, okay.
Do we want to discuss first?
Well, I'm just noticing there's some slight variations, imperfections in the skin. I don't know why I thought of that. There's slight variations in the angle, like this.
Yeah. Sophie also has some.
Oh, I want to hear Sophie.
I noticed 4 of the clones just look serious, like they're paying attention. The one in the back who's looking kind of down, I think he's just like playing something on his phone, and the guy in the back is like I'm confused. What's happening?
So if you pointed out something great, which is that there's variation in performance here, which makes it organic and cool, and also distracts from the things that I think give the shot away. But they don't give it away the first 2 or 3 times because you have these organic variations in performance happening that keeps it organic along with the camera movement. So great observation, Soph. The things that give it away for me that I notice are the middle. So like second from the left.
His warpy
yes,
arms.
That camera move. Oh, there's a warpy arm for sure, and there's the camera move is late on his.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's. I think these are all organically shots that he then stabilized and tracked to one of the shots as a baseline, but he shot them all with the same tilt, and then either retimed them or loosely lined them up. Which, by the way, I think works. I think this is like a Michel Gondry shot, man. I think it works so well.
No, totally. And like it played in
Really
context, it just plays.
Yep.
So yeah, so this is from a short that Ito made a few years ago for Film Riot's stay at home challenge, I think.
Oh, nice.
And they say like in retrospect would have done a lot better, but it is a fun shot. To use the shot, I used a green screen and tried replicating the camera movement each time. And then in After Effects, I stabilized everything and tracked the camera to the background so I could match everything together.
I think it worked. I mean, I think it worked. I don't like you
That's
said,
amazing.
Hashi, in the context in a scene, I'd buy it.
100%. It's really good.
Well
Good
done.
job, Ito.
Ito, if you're watching, drop a comment in the chat. Ito, I believe, is over in Israel, so it says depends on the time availability to watch live or not. But great shot.
Great shot. And when Hashi says drop it in the chat, we mean over at youtube.com/@VFX and chill. Look for this stream on that channel and subscribe to that channel to see some fun stuff.
And we will put a link to the full. This comes from a full short that we will drop in the description later.
Very cool. Up next, is this Jaco? Jaco, I don't know how to pronounce your name correctly.
Jaco von Bosch?
Jaco von Bosch. That was my guess. I just, don't want to be embarrassed.
Oh, hey, Ito's here. Hi, Ito.
Ito! Killer shot.
Ito, you made it.
It was killer.
Great shot.
All right. So, Jaco, give us context on Jaco's shot, Hash.
Okay, so it's a whole... so it says, I know you said shot, but here's a whole dang short film with cloning. Ignore if too much. But so we wanted to try to go
23 minutes long. Did we get time codes?
We do not have time codes. Jaco, are you here in the chat? It's like a seance. If you are...
Sorry.
I think
are you moving it? I'm not moving it. Jaco's
Zoom
moving
calls.
it. I'm going to move till I see some
Yes,
clones. Boom, clones.
Yeah, there we go. He's very startled by the clone. Oh, clone's got different shaving states.
That's impressive.
That means you better get it right the first time you shoot it.
That also is a nightmare for coverage.
Yeah.
So that means you pick one split shot and you can really, or I guess you can get multiple, but it's like, no, you pick one split shot unless you can go and recreate that setup later, or you get a double. No, man.
I'm what? See, again, this has a very, it's a handheld and kind of casual style for a lot. It does switch to this lock off for these shots.
And that
is a little different than.
That's a good example of where
these.
I'm like, first off, by the way, you can make no changes to this, Jaco, and it's like, it's show ready. Like even with the not lock off, it's still, I buy it. I buy the scene visually. Like you've got me interested in character, not in spectacle here, and so I'm buying it. I'm going along with
Yeah,
you.
look at that. Like
That
there
was
you go,
nice.
Kurt.
Nice
Double-
little, probably a double back there, but that was a nice confident move there. But I would say you could have added some shake. No, don't add shake to that. You can get away with this on a big master wide shot, though. I will say that you can do handheld coverage and then have a wide that's not handheld and get away with it. But I mean, it doesn't hurt to do it a little.
That was great.
Yeah, I think so. So I imagine there's
And I
more
know that we're
double
not hearing
stuff.
the audio right here, but it feels clear like the performance would carry that through. And like, look at this again. In this case, you would have to set up. It's not even an interior setup.
God, you better hope the wind's not blowing.
So what do you do
Yeah.
for that shot? Is this the shot you film first? Like-
No, you film it in the middle. If it's yeah. So
Well-
I'm imagining they're shooting scenes. The stubble tells me this guy grows facial hair pretty quick, but the amount tells me like you didn't have to wait too long, be in between shooting these scenes. But if you're doing singles and then getting a double, I mean, to me the most sane thing is to shoot singles of one side of the scruffy
Beardy guy.
version.
Yeah.
Get the half of the two shot, and then shave. Get the other half of the two shot, and then go in for your singles of shaven guy. It's a nightmare. And it limits your abilities, and your first AD will, but make voodoo dolls of you. But you, still pretty great. I mean, still, it's worth those kind of.
Justin Leduc says he's cuter shaped with his hair parted to the side. Anyone else? That's not what we're here to talk about. Also, yes.
Okay. Let's see. Lots of more clones. All right, we're locked off with the clones.
We have
I would say.
overlapping.
Oh, there we go.
They do overlap a little bit.
I mean, it's like either lock everything off. Well, these is all locked off, so I buy that.
Jason Murphy points out that the whole movie they had to deal with the shaving for multiple scenes. So, good Lord, did they have to shoot multiple days and have to line up the camera? Like, that's ridiculous.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
right.
I think
Like,
for
he
multiple scenes, I
shaved
think
and
they had.
unshaved.
I think they shot on weekends or something. So, or he took a week between scenes or between a couple scenes, because you'll notice there's lots of stuff to be able to. There's lots of stuff without clones that they could shoot as well.
Because like the only thing I could think of otherwise you could do is like any of the big clone interaction shots you film on a day that you can film, side one with a beard and then shave and then film the other half in the same night with the same setup. But then you've got to stock up, like you want to schedule out your whole shoot around this concept. So then like now you have clean shaven guy and you go film all of these scenes for a while. And then in about a week, you're ready to shoot bearded again.
Unless you have a
And then you
makeup
prep
budget
one
and a
more.
talented makeup artist that can apply a beard, which is not.
That's
which
a
is-
really-
the
it's a
kind
very
of beard he's
convincing
got is
stubble
real
beard, though.
tricky.
yeah.
I tried this for my Bill and Ted clone shot. It was too subtle for people to see, but I remember trying that for that one.
Ooh, that's yet another angle. That's the clones.
I'm gonna say, Yako, I think we are absolutely. I speak for all of us when I say that we are just nitpicking what is really impressive work here.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much all of these.
The eye
would-
lines are
would
perfect.
play in sequence, great. Like they're wonderful.
Yeah.
Like the eye lines are great. Like he 100% feels like he's looking at the other person.
So yeah, it's pretty great. I'm just trying to see if there's any like big stellar standout shots. Forgive me, Yako, if you did some incredible underwater shot and I'm skimming right through it. But
All good. We're
very
let's do our
impressive,
best to
very
catch
fun.
what we can.
Up next, John. So there is backstory to this one. Can you read the backstory to this one, Hash?
Yes. So we've got. During lockdowns, a local pub who'd usually hold an open mic night, set up a Facebook group for musicians to upload performances every week. I made a bunch of covers using myself as a cloned band of sorts, and did all sorts of things like bang pots and pans. They're very silly and rough, but during those times, it was a very fun distraction.
We can dance, don't say.
And the song, of course, is Safety Dance, which I don't know about you guys, but always makes me think of the Pauly Shore, Stephen Baldwin film Biodome. So this is one example of a clone. Like, I don't know if we've seen this version of a clone shot yet, surprisingly, which is the green screen clone shot, the like abstract setting, like the green, where you basically film one person on a green screen being different people and then just, put them in a virtual set in post. One thing I will give feedback about is, and this is like, a music video, this is like a fun thing. So it's not like you need to get nitpicky, but when you shoot a person on a green screen and then you repo them and rescale them in post to look further away from camera, I always strongly urge for you to pull the camera back and get the plate with the camera at the distance that you want the final shot to appear. The same distance you want to simulate with the final shot. Because if you look at all these shots of him, it looks like it's angled up with a wider angle lens. And so there's this like curve happening across his body where his head looks a little bigger than his feet. Because the camera is so close to him.
Yeah, the top hats are a good example, because you can see that from straight, like kind of in the middle of
Okay, sure.
They're angled so I know that they're looking up a bit, but really you see the hats, convergence point going way up off the top, and the feet, you can see the full top of the feet.
Yeah. So. That's that. Then we have, is it Mado? How does his name? Did I say this wrong? Look.
Mada.
This rules. So Mada did this for a
Mada
competition.
made this for his TikTok account. It's a video for Microsoft. You can. Goodness gracious.
So I want to point out in this one is okay. Before we get to even crazy impressive stuff, first off, I want to talk about performance. He's got very funny, first off, tons of variations in these shots. Like so many different performances in these shots.
Yes.
That he's getting. And I love that he's going full on
including
cartoony
this
with
successful antic right here. Like, watch this. This is great. This shot, like,
great.
Look at that.
Yes.
It's so good.
I'm not on screen, but I'm nodding at all of them.
I've
why
not
aren't
checked
you?
out the
Hang on.
TikTok account yet, but Meta, are you an animator? I want to know if
Yes,
So
it has to be.
it's
Meta is a
good.
character animator.
That is such a like animator in front of a mirror shot.
Love it.
It's so good.
Like the
It's
reaction,
a hard motion to
slightly
pull off,
different
but
timing.
you know it when you see it exactly what it implies. It's so good.
It's the leg first, Flintstone run. It's so good. And then
I love this.
so you've got clone on clone action here with OBS's scrubbing capabilities suck, but that's fun.
Really. Oh, look at that.
That's very
Yes.
So
fun. That's
good.
just
let's
some
finish the
hard
thing.
work. That's some hard masking work is all that is, I think. Lots of interactions happening.
He's
Yes.
carrying himself?
Carrying, wait for it. There's some killer
Twice.
stuff here. Pushing,
Oh, it's so good.
holding. All right, here we go. Jumping off of,
Oh, that is, yeah.
onto the shoulders.
Oh,
Flipping.
that's so good.
I honestly,
oh my gosh, this should be the grand finale of this show.
it really should have been.
Holy cow. And how does he also look like if J.C. Tecklenburg and Jacob Dalton, if you like dialed right between them somehow?
Yeah, 100%. So this is very
real
impressive.
Specific,
In fact,
VFX world reference.
Good
for you.
Lord.
yeah, here's the deal, Mendo. If you've got a breakdown of this, we would love it.
So
We
good.
would love to repost it or feature it because This is very
I mean,
impressive.
So much of it, like I can see it, but my gosh, the amount of work. Good Lord. That tackle is so good.
And I got to
Like,
say again,
oh.
I would say 85%
carry.
of the success of this is the performances. I think
The
it's
performance is so good.
very charming and funny in this, and it makes it covers up any. There's so many places where I can see visual effects are
So
happening,
good.
of course, but it doesn't matter to me because I'm enjoying what I'm watching.
It's so good.
So killer work, really killer and imaginative.
Really, really cool.
Up
Goodness,
next,
incredible.
incredible, and up next
Sunny
we've got
Naguri.
Sonny. What's up? You're coming up.
We
Just
have
wait.
we have Sunny's comment right there saying, "Does anything top this?" Well,
I should
you're
go
up next,
straight to
Sonny.
Sonny. You know what? I will. Sonny Nagura, you've got Najuri
All right,
Nagura.
so,
I'm not sure how to pronounce, but
the shot begins at time code 133. This is obviously from the Boomerang show.
wait a minute.
I love.
Sonny, are you a?
This is one of
Can I ask
Sonny. This
real
is
quick?
one of my favorite videos of
It's
the
so
last.
I love
I don't
this
remember
video
how long
so
it was
much,
ago,
but I
it's-
have to
it's-
ask
it's-
if you're a Plot Devices fan, and I'm gonna look like an idiot if you're not. But just this title card here feels like a little bit of a nod to something. I'm just gonna keep going and not be myopic, because the truth is,
This whole
friggin'
this
rule.
whole piece is fantastic.
It really is. And this is available elsewhere on the internet for anyone to watch if they want, correct?
Yes, it will be. We're going to have links for people who shared links to
Hey,
their
Long Shadow.
videos. We will have them in the description of this episode later.
This is really great and really, really genuinely great great. This is a great tutorial. This is a great tutorial style.
It is a good tutorial. Yeah.
Look at that. You got the triple.
And more, we got shaving action here. I'm noticing we got facial hair.
Oh my goodness! Good catch.
Yeah, we've got some facial hair spectacle happening, showmanship happening here.
What?
Sonny called me on it. I'm being a dick then. Sorry, Sonny. I just referencing the openings. All the story
You
clock
know what,
workbook intro.
How much of these cool transition-y things are all universe effects? Because if there's enough universe stuff in here, Red Giant should post this. This is like, these are great.
This piece is both
Lie,
educational
Sonny.
and
Lie and say it was all
hilarious.
universe,
It's
so you'll get the share.
phenomenal.
Sorry, Hush. What?
There's universe effects all through here. Look,
Yeah,
look
there's long
that.
shadow
That's
and
universe
everything. It's great.
transition. Yeah.
Yep. Look at the shaving showmanship, the shavemanship.
The shavemanship.
Incredible.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
But wait, Sonny, you gotten 2 shots with shavemanship. Did you do these across different weeks, or did you?
Hang on, the tree is freaking moving.
Yes, the tree is the next
So
thing
this
I was
is
going
not
to say.
that's not
Well,
a basic split screen
hang
shot.
on. Yes, it is.
Is it?
Tree moves a lot on the right, but I would say there's a lot of movement in a second right here on the left and less
See, we need
on the right.
we need a like a grease pencil like style. We need to be able to
We
write.
do. I keep forgetting you can't see my mouse. Right under the mic. I feel like there's a mask happening there, a blurry mask.
Wait.
What I think that there might be a little feathery mask, but it's drawn in kind of a lightning bolty shape throughout there.
That allows
Oh.
it to get away with it.
So you can
100%.
sort of see certain part like
It's
it's well done. Little Texas switch. Or
Nice.
what would you call that? It's not quite. It's a out of camera.
I picked
To,
something up off a table. Yeah.
I'd call it a Texas switch, and that's what I was getting to with the glass. I was trying to insinuate you could do with the glasses pass handoff on your shot, Hosh, but there's reasons you couldn't. Like,
Shot
No, I
across
mean, I
different
don't remember
days.
if-
Hang on.
Do you remember
shot
the one
across
that you
different
did on our
days?
multiplicity
The
episode,
lighting.
Seth?
so let's come back to that real quick, Hosh, because Sonny just dropped a grenade in the chat.
Oh boy.
Across different days. So explain that. Okay. So you did this shot on one day. You did the wide shot on another day. You're not saying you went and shot all of these shots on one side and then shaved and came over multiple days, shot different sides. Like you basically, I get it. This is great. Sorry. Does everyone else tracking with me? Like, it's not that he did one shot over a bunch of days. Okay, no. How do I turn you off? Okay. So.
And Luke and Dad is asking how are the trees moving. Wind. Luke and Dad Productions. It's wind. Good Lord.
We have a film called Pocahontas you should watch because it's all about wind.
You should not. It's inaccurate historically.
You're right. Don't watch Pocahontas. Just read about wind. Shot one day, other shot another day. But it's...
Wait.
What?
But
Each scene was shot on a specific day.
Each shot was on a specific day. So he did this shot on the same day.
And then shaved, then did the second side, right.
Yes. And then...
So for each scene, he had to do it on a
Phenomenal.
different day because he had to grow a beard to shoot side A, then shave it for side B.
So,
Got it.
This is a clone episode. You would know we're going to bring up Robert Zemeckis as much as we have. You would obviously expect that. Here's what I'm going to say. Sonny, this is a perfect example of a thing that I am such an evangelist about, which is you should, as a filmmaker, not just as a visual effects artist, you should always be creating interesting problems for yourself on purpose. The thing that I would argue made me want to make movies even more than Jurassic Park was the section of the making of Roger Rabbit where we saw people puppeting live action guns around a room so they could have animated weasels carrying them. There is no reason. They could have easily just had the weasels carry around animated guns. It had nothing to do with the script. It was literally just a cool problem that created a cool solution and a more interesting final result. So that...
Oh, yeah. The fact
is
that
why
they were
this rules.
carrying real guns instead of cartoony guns was so, an added detail that was unnecessary but made it so much better.
And so the facial hair here is like an example of you did not need to do that. You could have just put glasses on, and you did this instead, and that's wildly cool and will be appreciated by half your audience. And you'll be a hero to that half.
Sonny did point out that the boom is also a separate plate.
Oh, I would have done that too. Yeah, that makes sense. You can control it better then. Did you have a crew on this, Sonny, or was it just you?
That's a good question. But this whole series is so good. Sonny, I really want to put this on the Red Giant channel somewhere. It's got tips and it's fun, and I want behind the scenes of it as well. The characters are different heights. Ha!
Okay, now you're bragging, Sonny. Shut up and back off. We got this.
Did you Tom Cruise it up on a box? What'd you do? Because
cruise on shoes? Do shoes cruise?
I'm just giggling, remembering some of the visual gags for this. So great.
So you've seen this before, Hash?
I have.
I've seen it before too.
Oh, I hadn't seen it before. I'm sorry, Sonny. I'm the jerk.
Oh, so wonderful.
I've never seen it before, and I'm like, hey, did you copy this from me? I feel like such a jerk here. Sonny, this rules, buddy. It absolutely rules. You didn't need me to tell you that. All right, last but not least, we have something from Wingate Arnold, and I have a fun fact about Wingate that I will share in a second. Yes. Nice. Cross the line there.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, you're caught.
You're caught. How are you going to get out of this? Oh, you're going to become a ghost, obviously. Yeah. We got multiple magics here. Oh, no. I'm sorry, George.
Oh, digital magic.
No, quiet. All right.
I love it.
Wingate, that's incredibly fun. Let me share real quick. Wingate Arnold's dad Dave Arnold is a very old and close friend of mine, and did the music for the Time Closet short that I showed a little earlier in the show.
What? It all ties together.
It all ties together. And Wingate submitted or Dave submitted this, or Wingate submitted this. I had no idea. I woke up this morning and was like, "Oh, Wingate! I got a short from Wingate." Apparently, he's doing this stuff all the time.
Can I say Wingate is an amazing name?
Yes.
I love that name.
Dave is an author of very whimsical, cool books. So, of course, he gave his son a very whimsical, cool name. I'm a big fan of this, and I want to see more, Wingate. This is very fun. There's a lot of thought that goes into each of these shots. Like, a lot of things are happening in these shots, and there's timing stuff he has to get right. Again, like you said, Hash, clone shots are a really great, really, really great, almost like an integral, like, required exercise for early VFX artists or filmmakers, because it requires you to think across all departments. And
what's great about this is when you're making a clone shot, one of the first things you do to line up your plates is you make them half transparent, line them up over each other. Wingates uses that as the whole gag of the end of this, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Because you still see the splits. I mean, the doubles effect, but is using the transparency as an additional effect, which is great.
Just really killer work, Wingate. We love it. We love
do.
it.
We love it.
I think it's worthy of a. That's not what I meant to hit. What I meant to hit was this. This goes out to everybody who submitted to us this week. You truly did create content for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And speaking of content, I do actually have. All right. You go for it. We have one additional entry that I will start sharing right over here. One moment. All right. So if you want to talk.
Yeah.
It's not a video, but I made this.
Woo!
I love
It's not one of the full videos, but I did a little bit of editing and I made that.
I love it so.
I love it so much. Soph, great work. And you did that very quickly, turned it around very fast. So
During the show, mid-show.
So
Yeah,
I
I
think-
actually sneaked off and then.
Jamie, is that you?
I think we would absolutely I think we would absolutely say this. You did it. You're a Pixar.
Yeah.
You nailed it. Great work, Soph.
My
Great
goodness.
work, Jamie.
That's
Great
incredible.
work, everybody. All right. Hey, we have to take a
Excellent.
quick break, and we'll be right back to wrap up after this.
Welcome back, everybody. We just finished watching an amazing batch of user-submitted videos. We are so thankful for you sharing your visual effects with us. And remember that we do like to do episodes that we look at a whole broad category of visual effects. So you're always welcome to send them to our VFX and Chill box, which is at maxonvfx.com/chillbox. There's with the clones submission bit is over, but you can absolutely go submit any kind of visual effect shot that you like at any time that it occurs to you. And then whenever we do a little roundup episode like this, we'll review your work, which is
Absolutely.
cool.
And again, just to remind everybody, the best place to watch this show. You can watch it across multiple channels, the Red Giant channel, Maxon channel, the Action Movie Kids channel occasionally, the Action Movie Dad channel, and the Maxon Training Team channel, the Red Giant channel. Wow, they're still going. But the VFX and Chill channel is the main one that you want to watch this on, because it's where most of our chat is. It's where we are having a great time making fun of Justin LeDuc in real time. So please do yourself a favor, everybody. Make sure that you always join our chat at youtube.com/@VFXandChill while watching the show. Subscribe there. It's also where you're going to be able to see. We're going to post my old short, The Time Closet, on there, which we talked about in this episode because it's on theme with clones and stuff. Who knows? Maybe some old Hashi stuff will end up on here too. Maybe we'll brand it all somehow under some cool old classic name. Listen, this was a very fun show. I had a blast today. Any last words from
thank
Papa?
you, mother-in-law.
Any last words from Papa Business, Michael?
Oh, I you know what? I do have some words from the business. If you missed it this past week, there has been a series of videos on the new stuff that came out in Maxon set. The link in the chat right now is to a live stream where they talked about some of the new features that showed up in Red Giant. So there's a bunch of updates in Trapcode tools, like Red Giant Geo had a bunch of updates. Trapcode particular had some really significant quality of life updates to it as well. I cover both of those in this live stream. Alexandru covers the changes in Maxon Studio, and Max from one of the great technical color artists talks about why and how to use parametric curve, which is a new powerful tool in Magic Bullet. So that's in the link that is in the chat.
Digital magic.
Sure, whatever, George.
And then if you're interested in Red Giant or in Redshift and Cinema 4D, the link for that is also in the chat. There was a live stream where they talked through a ton of new features in both of those that came out. And if you are interested in ZBrush for iPad, there was also yes, indeed. There was also a live stream showing off all the new stuff on that, which is everything, because ZBrush for iPad just came out, brand new. It's the real actual ZBrush on an iPad. It's not a stripped down light version. It's real ZBrush. There are
Okay.
That doesn't happen that often. Sorry.
There are a few features missing that are, hopefully going to come in the future. But just like the brush system is the full ZBrush. I gotta stop saying it.
I did make a bypass for that one. So
okay, good.
Sorry.
Mr. Keyframes is asking, have we played with the latest 3D stuff in After Effects? Yes. I have. I still use Red Giant Geo for most of my things because it does more things than the After Effects one can do. But occasionally I will use the After Effects one for if I want it to interact with other After Effects layers. But for example, you can't do refraction with the one that's built in After Effects. So I tend to use Red Giant Geo more frequently. You can't rig 3D characters in it. But you can import. You can import FBXs that are animated. Same with Red Giant Geo as well.
All right. Okay. Hash, any last words?
Excellent. Thank you very, very much. These episodes are very, very fun, especially with exciting viewers like you. Lively chat today and wonderful submissions. Just great work from everybody. It was really, really fun to get to.
It really was. We'd like to do more of these. And in order to do more of these, we need more content from you guys. So just one more time.
Go tell 40,000 of your closest friends to subscribe, like, and do all those fun things.
And do that, youtube.com/VFXandChill, and then also go to maxonvfx.com/chillbox, submit something as a VFX and Grill submission, and we will watch it on the show and do something like this. In the meantime, everybody have a kick-ass week, and we'll see you next week. Stay safe in the hurricane stuff, please. Goodbye, everybody.